Hello, my people of YouTube. How do I keep making these intros even more awkward? Anyways, I realize as I'm filming this, I feel like I look like a pink Teletubby with my oversized sweatshirt. So there are a lot of fun products I have been working with lately and just adding to my own shop. And if anyone has watched my YouTube videos in the past few months, you will know I am on a huge tech accessory kick right now for my print-on-demand business. So today I wanted to reveal again a new product type that I personally just think is such a great product to add. I've seen consistent monthly sale volumes for this product type. What product, you may ask, that is? Desk mats. Okay, I'm showing on the screen just a few screenshots of a few listings I saw. So I'm going to blur out the designs and the names of the shops and the sellers, but I found multiple listings that are hitting over 50 monthly sales. I found most of the listings are very aesthetic. So again, when I'm talking about aesthetic niches, it's typically in the, I would say, cottage core micro niches or sub niches of cottage core. So thinking maybe like the goblin core. So a lot of these niches I personally am a fan of, and it really is a aesthetic niche. Again, a lot of people search for it for the aesthetics because it has that vintage drawing style of designs that you typically see. When we're going into this niche today, I really just wanted to make something kind of dark cottagecore-esque today, if you will. I think that would be really, really fun to make a desk mat together. We're gonna hop onto my laptop here. We're gonna do a tutorial together. I hope my laptop is charged all the way, by the way. Okay, so now that we're on my laptop, what we are going to start with is Printify and Kittle. So with Printify, I like to start with this first to get the dimensions of the desk mat. So one thing to note is when it comes to desk mats, there are multiple sizes. That's why we want to start first with the design dimensions. So I'm going to start and just search for desk mats. Now there's two desk mats you're going to find. One is by Spoke, one is by Colorway. Colorway has a lower production fee. However, I will note that their shipping is about $2 more. So if I click into it, the shipping starts at $7, but production fee is at $6.57. If I go back here and I look at Spokes, the production fee, if you have Printify Premium, that is $8.05, but shipping is about $1.11 less. So I guess, you know, it's $1 about difference. I have been selling on Etsy with print on demand for 5 years, and I have personally gotten samples from Spoke. So I'm going to use Spoke just because of my experience, and I actually have a desk mat here. So I feel like this is bad for me to just like pull up. So this is my desk mat that I ordered from Spoke. So I wanted to show this because if you see the background of this design, I made black. So this is true black. Basically, this design came out super crisp, super clear, and super beautiful. Of course, it looks kind of gross because I have stuff on it right now. This is like probably 6 months old of a sample that I ordered, but it's a really nice desk mat. Like, it's large. Like, this thing is gigantic. I personally, for Colorway, I haven't really added any other products by Colorway. So again, my reasoning for Spoke is just that. But outside of that, we're gonna start designing here. And for our design, so print area of 12 by 18 is 5,610 by 3,839. However, I don't want that size. I want the extra large size basically, or the large size. This is technically large. So 16 by 32 size, as far as my research that I've went into, it is considered extra large, but not XX large. Just know for your SEO, I would not recommend putting anything that it is not, because you will have a very, very angry customer. So the 12 by 18 is a little bit smaller. The 12 by 22 is kind of considered large. 12 by 18 is considered about medium. I like to offer all sizes, and that's where having a patterned type of design kind of comes in handy. Or if you do something that has letters on it, you will want to fit it based on the different dimensions. For this video, I am going to stick to the 16 by 32 because what I found on my Etsy trend research and search volume research is a lot of people are looking for the XL version. We have 16 by 32 is the size dimension. However, print area size is the, if you wanted to do by pixels, that'd be 9,921 by 5,197. I am going to go to Kittl. So what's really nice about Kittl is they do have inches that you can set up your width and height with, which I really appreciate because doing all the pixels, that's too many numbers for my brain to handle at times. Okay, I'm just gonna say it. That's just how my brain works. My little squirrel brain does not do well with that big of numbers. So I'm going to put in 32 width by height of 16. We're gonna create from here. I wanna create like a design that might be wildflowers and different elements of dark cottagecore and maybe even goblin core to throw in. I am going to look up some elements here. So I'm gonna go to elements. I'm gonna look up a toad and see if I can find some cool toads. Oh my gosh, this toad is so cool. This is not related, but I just love that this toad is just in armor. Ah, what a cute toad. Oh my goodness. This is the problem, is sometimes there's just so much to kind of look through. Maybe I'll look up moth. Let's see. Let's get a moth in here. I do want like the vintage aesthetic though, so that's why I'm kind of looking for a while, is because I do not want to settle for something that I am not happy with. I guess that's the best way to say it. I'm not a fan of moths though. I just, like, this is such a weird thing, but I like the look of like the cottagecore-esque, like dark cottagecore types of products, but like having a moth by itself like really grosses me out for a moment. I don't know why. I'm gonna use the image generator and see if we can maybe get something that's a little bit more what I'm looking for. So I'm gonna do a 9 by 16 aspect ratio. We'll do the Dolly 3. So I'm gonna put moths, wildflowers, and butterflies. I'll add in toads. I feel like toads. We'll see what it comes up with. I feel like this is really a lot of things I'm throwing at it. Vintage, cottage core with black, or I'll put maybe dark green background. We're gonna see what it creates. Maybe I'll do vintage drawing. Okay, so we're gonna generate this and see what comes up.
A few moments later.
And I realize I set up the wrong orientation. So we're gonna go back. I'm gonna do 16 by 9. Where is my brain? My brain is off somewhere, okay? I really love this. The only thing is I want it colorful. Like I want it more colorful. So maybe I'll deselect the vintage drawing. Watercolor would probably look really nice. So let's play with this a little bit. So of moths and butterflies, I'll put maybe daisies, cottage core, wildflowers, and moths. So I'm just gonna generate from here and see what it gives me.
A little later.
That's still pretty nice. I mean, this is easy to kind of like copy and paste and have like two, but this actually came out quite nice. I'm gonna do this again. I'm gonna go to advanced and then we're gonna generate this. I might do wallpaper. I feel like wallpaper would look really cool. Let's see what it creates.
One shift later.
I am not happy with this end result.
So much later, and even the SpongeBob narrator started rooting for the AI to just do what Heather wants already.
It's gonna be the last one. Okay, I'm taking it or I'm leaving it. That actually looks really nice though. I think I could let me just crop this and maybe duplicate. I feel like I really like this. Let's see if it makes sense if I make it into more of a pattern. It's not bad. It's not bad. I mean, this looks quite nice. So let me go in a little bit and judge this. So I feel like frogs don't have tails like this. I was just hopeful that frogs would have a tail so I wouldn't have to figure out how to remove this tail. Maybe let me do, let's see. I'll put hand-drawn toad sitting, and then I'm gonna do aspect ratio 1:1. So I might just replace the toad. I'm probably gonna replace the toad or I'll put a flower there because that toad is not going to make it that far. That is not the toad I was seeking in this. I mean, not like it would be bad there, but I feel like it's a really creepy looking toad that I'm not feeling today. I'm not feeling that toad. Let me do erase and fill. You know, there's two ways you could fix this. One is by doing erase and fill and hoping that it takes away the tail. Or you could just erase the whole frog. Please remove the tail without taking the foot. I'm happy about that, okay? It almost looks like a reflection. I'm happy now with what I have done in my time here because this is pretty much what I'm looking for. Move this just a little bit more. It's kind of, we have some cutoff there. What I might do, I'm gonna edit this a little bit to just like remove some of the inside here so we can kind of overlay or get away with kind of overlaying just a little bit so it doesn't have that cutoff, but we'll see. We'll see if we're able to do this. And then I'm gonna bring this forward. So we're gonna bring this to the front. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna center one of the moths. So I'm gonna make this so I might center maybe this moth. And I am just going to bring this to the center. So center, actual center is here. So I'm gonna actually make this into a line now. So actual center is here just to kind of keep that. So I'm going to center this blue moth because I think it should be the center focus point. So I am fairly happy with what we have here. There could be probably more, like less overlap. I feel like that's a better way to say it, but I'm pretty happy with what I have here. So what I'm gonna do is I am going to download this now. And the only thing I notice now is that that frog leg is still in the picture. Darn it. So we're gonna bring this to the front. I'm gonna just put that over that. Okay, the cursed frog leg. If you made it to this part of the video, put down below the cursed frog strikes again. I am going to download this last artboard here. I am very happy with how this came out, okay? Now that we have that downloaded, it was only a second, I'm gonna drag and drop it over. And I'm going to pull this. So what's kind of confusing is with the dust mats, on Printify, it has the grayed out zone, but the grayed out zone on dust mats actually prints. So I know that's kind of confusing, but what I like to do is either create pattern or I like to fill in the background color. So if I went back and matching like the background, I have this little square where I took the color dropper. So you can do color dropper and then you can get that color. For some reason, it's not coming out that way though. I don't know why it's doing that right now, but that is the color that I matched here. And I can copy and paste this color. You can go to the desk mat and then we can go background color. So just in case we could also do that, but I like to do the pattern just because it's kind of easier. So when I go to preview, there might be not the edges filled in on the top and bottom. Yeah, it's like slightly off. I'm gonna expand this a little bit because I'm not as happy with how that looks. I don't know, just me being particular, but I think also the line separation is kind of more prominent in if I don't do that. So yeah, this is beautiful. This is gorgeous. This is so gorgeous. I love how this came out. Alrighty, so last thing is pricing. So how much should you price your dust mats? I know that's a big question that a lot of people have when you get to this point. What's really nice, I would say profit margin, you can easily get $7 of profit margin when we're looking at dust mats. Retail price, I typically price an extra large dust mat. I mean, if we look at the other dust mats on Etsy, so I'm just gonna go back to one of the examples I had earlier. So desk mat. So if I look at some of these dust mats, some of the top selling dust mats are selling their dust mats at 32 by 16 for $52. This is a really nice profit margin product because you can kind of, I mean, for me personally, if I were a new shop, I'd do $39.99. Now, in consideration of this pricing, that would be a profit of over $20. So like I said, it's easy to get $7 of profit margin. When it comes to a product like this, I try to say to price down, like lower on the scale when you are a newer shop. So maybe like $39.99 is lower for a new shop. However, as we can see, people are pricing that for like closer to $49.99. Now I will say, so one thing to note here, the pricing here is not including the fees. So I'm gonna pull up my other window here just to show the profit calculator I have. So I do offer this in the links down below. If you would like to have this, given there are like ways you can estimate your profit through Printify too, but I did create this calculator to kind of reverse engineer pricing as well. I have a price calculator and profit calculator in this. So I'm gonna put desk mat. I'm going to do 16 by 32 inch, and then I'm going to put spoke. We're going to do the production fee for this, so $5.49 shipping. So again, this is without Printify Premium. If you don't have Printify Premium, this is essentially the profit you can expect. So if I go, I'm gonna do desk mat. This is where I wanna say I'm not a tax professional, but if you know your tax rate, sales tax rate, you can enter this in here if you do have my profit calculator. Now, I know I typically run 15 to 25% off, usually 25% is my highest amount off. So if I listed a desk mat at $39.99 for the 16 by 32, that's gonna give me about $10.57 of profit. That's not including free shipping. Now, let's say we were one of the sellers who are selling this for closer to $50, that's $17.34, which is insanely good profit because those sellers that I was showing earlier, that one seller is selling 50 a month. So given they might not be selling that exact size, but let's say you're the seller and maybe half of, or like 1/4 of those are that desk mat, that's $17.34. So I'm gonna times that by 15. So that's $260 of profit a month, even if they sold like maybe closer to 1/5 to 1/4. But if they were selling just the extra large, because that is a popular size, let's say at that 1734 mark, that'd be $867 of profit per month. And I know like sometimes in these videos, I talk about these crazy numbers of like thousands of dollars a month, but for one product, when this seller is selling multiple products, that's pretty darn good. So profit margin's beautiful on these. So one feature of Printify that's really, really good, and I'm not saying this because I've used Printify for a really long time, like I am legitimately just so impressed by Printify's AI generating tool for keywords. So what I'm gonna do, I'm going to put dark cottage core, moths, wildflowers, and toads. I'll put XL. I'm going to put gaming mat for him, and then I will put goblin core. I'm also going to put forest core because those are niches that are trending. I'll put tech accessory. So the reason why I kind of shot out so many keywords at once so well is just because I've been in these niches, okay? I'll be the first one to say it. I've been doing this for some time. And so I know that it's kind of hard to learn SEO when I'm kind of spitting these off so fast. So I do have a SEO video I'd recommend after this. I will link it after the video here. But this is essentially what I would do for my SEO. This is based on the SEO trends I've seen. So I'm going to do that. I like to still keep like some of the words. It will rearrange on Printify my keywords, but I'm pretty happy with this. So I see it says work from home office decor. It has gaming mat, which I like, XL mat, tech accessory for him. Maybe I'd probably put in gamer birthday as a gift for a gamer. Like again, thinking about niches, I think that would be really good. I'm gonna change toad design to toads, frogs, and I'll put lover here just to add that all in. So I'm also gonna put for him, her. So I like to kind of make sure it's for him, make sure it's for her. Office decor is great. Yeah, I'll put goblin core. Let me do goblin core, and I'm gonna put witchy because that is witchy, and witch has been very popular too. So I'm pretty happy with that. I am going to select economy. Now we'll see that the cost of shipping is $7.99. So this is what I'm gonna recommend to you. You can either lower the cost of shipping once we're on Etsy, or you can go and add to the price here and make it free shipping. So you would compensate the price for free shipping in a way. Besides that, I'm gonna publish from here. I think the mockups on Printify for desk mats are quite nice. So I'm not opposed to recommending to use the desk mats. So I'm gonna go to my listings. I'm just going to switch the mockup image and we're gonna look at the final piece together here. And oh my gosh, my camera is almost going to die. So hold on just another moment. What I'm gonna do, what I would personally do, again, I personally think that like a high contrast mock-up, so the background is lighter if it's a darker subject and graphics that you're using. So a product like this, I will recommend using and maybe purchasing a mock-up image. For the purpose of this video though, I am not purchasing a mock-up image just because my camera's gonna die. I do apologize. But again, this is the final look of our desk mat. This was honestly so fun to create. Like I'm really happy with how it came out. I would probably add more space to the top line of the desk mat so the moth would go down a little bit. So that is one thing I would probably edit. I'd probably add some spacing between the bottom of the frogs. I really hope this video helped anyone who is looking to create desk mats. If you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe, like the video, and check out my free crash course down in the links below. It's a completely free course if you have not started a print on demand and Etsy business yet. Besides that, I'll see you all in the next video here.